friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, post-mortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. He locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Mirroring cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, rating's what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo! Welcome. Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that he packing.
All right, my friends, here we go. This is the ChessDojo Graduate Show, Smernster. Thank you for rating. What we're doing here is every week we look at the people who in the grad show have graduated, see what they've done. If they've got a game, we'll look at one of their games. It's been a tradition we've got going on for a long time. I would say I've learned a lot from it about chess improvement. I've been doing this series called How to Make X. It started off how to make 300, then 400. We're up to 1,000 now. Actually, I think only 900 has been published. In any case, I felt like I got a good dialed in sense of what people need through doing this show for years and years and years. So there's my spiel for you. There's my spiel. There's my knowledge. It has nothing to do with being a GM. It has to do with this show. Forever. Forever bows. Now, I feel like this... I'm going to fix my camera a little bit, just a touch. I feel like I'm in the low part of the frame, and I should be in the high part of the frame. So, can I do this? Can I fix? Oh, I'm still a little tired. There we go. Maybe a little bit like that. I'm a huge head here. My head is huge. And I'll get rid of this little thing too. Watch. Whoop. There we go. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see who we got today. First off, we got Badger Spank. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good, Badger Spank. Badger Spank just joined the program and probably has not done any Adult Improver. Cool. And we do have a game, though. We got a game. Let's see. We're trying to fix this all uploads thing. Jack said he was going to fix it. It is not yet fixed. So that down on my mini. I also learned things about the program, such as the My Games thing wasn't fixed yet. Here's Badger Spank. So first we got a time graph. Oh, we do. Look at that. So there's a 30-0 game. They're moving a little fast, but you know, oh, cry. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix it. Are we gonna go time graph? There we go. And oh, wait a second. Hold on just a second. Here's the grad show. I gotta go video capture device. I gotta save that thing. Then we gotta go time graph. Then we're gonna put it in there, baby. Bang. We're gonna move it around. Bang. We're gonna make it bigger. Bang. So we created the time graph because of this show. Knowledge learned from this show, which is generally people are moving too fast. At 30-0, which the lower cohorts are going to play, it's a little easier to not move too fast. But you can see, even with 30-0, we didn't do it perfectly. However, what we want Badger Spank to know is that he's not doing terribly here. Could be a little bit better, but he's doing well within the range of acceptable. Okay, genius so far. Yeah, so this is an ancient variation. Black can do a variety of things. So he is going to get his pawn back, and we probably do need to play knight f3. The issue, it's a complicated position, honestly. The issue with this one is that you're still going to lose the e pawn, and you're still going to get pushed away. So pop, pop, good move by black. Check to the miserable king. And d7 is a little weird of a square to go to because he just blocked in his bishop. So notice that the effect of f4, it slowed down black taking the pawn, but ultimately it didn't help him. Okay. Okay, I like that from black. Good move. I would take the pawn. You say, I don't want it. Now, by the way, here, cry. Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry about that. Jake, I saw it. Okay, I saw it, and I realized, every time I do this show, for reasons unbeknownst to me, I have to always fix things. We're going to fix things. Well, Cry, you were saying some really deep stuff there, and nobody could see it. So just to show, this was our game. And this goes back to the 1800s, this variation. And f4 I don't like, as I was saying, because he's going to get the e4 pawn, and then we should have just moved back to f3 immediately. I didn't like king d7. This is kind of a cheap threat, but I get it. Should have taken an f7. Now, here's the point I want to make. Cry, how come now I don't see you? I know why. Because we just got this new camera, everybody. Okay, we got the new camera. And I gotta make some shadoops here. I gotta make some shadoops. There I am. Okay. I know. We can fix it though. Choop. I got this new fancy camera because our YouTube guy made fun of my camera. He was like, that's a dumb camera you got. So I got it in my head that I needed a new camera. All right, my friends, what we want from Badger Spank is more annotations here. H6 would probably trap the knight now. That's still unpleasant. Now see, what he could have done is he could have played h6 to trap the knight, and now the knight should come out. I think we are in big trouble no matter what, though. So, for example, knight g5, snip, snap, check to the miserable rook, And if rook g1, he'll go bishop f3. So probably we need to just give him the rook like that. Now, why did this all happen? Because we didn't develop our coconuts. Okay? Because we didn't develop our coconuts. We're going off on adventures like knight g5, knight f7. Not what we want to do. What do we want to do? We want to develop our guys. Bishop d2, bring the rook over here somewhere. You know, you can put the king to f2, right? But we need to develop our coconuts. All right, let's see how this went down. Key thing here, we don't want to hang our stuff. Hanging our stuff is how we lose these games. He's cranking us here pretty good. Dang! Dang! Oh no! Mate! Mate, Badger Spank! So, development and not hanging our stuff. If you watch the How to Make 300 or even the How to Make 400 vid, we got there on the YouTube. And I'll be talking about that basic stuff. Yes, Jake, I need an intern. You are my intern, Jake. You are my intern. Now, I actually want to check one quick thing. I'm supposed to mark these things as done so that if I mark it as done, then people get a notification. Be like, oh yeah, that jerk face cry, he looked at your game. Here we got Blake. Blake doesn't tell us anything. Joined, he's been joined a little while ago, but he's been crushing. Doing a lot of tactics. Now, Jake, you are in the wrong cohort, buddy. You're in the wrong cohort. So what we're going to say, Blake, is come back when you are in the right cohort, and we'll look at your games, okay? Next up, we have Aotus. Aotus says, I'm not sure I've improved yet per se, and think my rating swings right now might be the result of my very few games against people. Okay? Well, you know, the rating is a very honest thing. So we got 551, join the dojo. Honestly, you join the dojo, this is what happens. Your rating is going to go up. He has done muchos tactics, not so much of other things. All right, clubs, nothing. Tell us something about yourself, Aotus. That was weird. See, it says this, it's all messed up. Jack, it's all messed up. Look, he's got a game here, but not in all uploads. Oh, I'm dying. Jack, we gotta fix it. About woos. Okay, this is a 10-minute game. Aotus, this doesn't count. This doesn't count. Okay. We need to, for you need to play a minimum of a 30-minute game. All right, next up we have SMS. SMS says, my first graduation at the dojo. I have waited a bit as I forgot my login to my original ChessCom account and wanted to wait until I had an actual rating. This accounts for the quick jump up and then fall in rating around June, July. I have enjoyed the structure of the dojo program and playing longer games. I've been a bit sporadic in recording my sweat work, but hope to be better at this going forward. Okay, let's take a look at SMS. He is an old dude. Nice. You know, now anybody, you know, he's a little bit younger than me though. So I'm like, yeah, he's a young pup. He's a young pup. So, 548, jumping around June, July, fine. Doing some good work. Probably isn't, sounds like he's not logging all of his stuff. We got some clubs. The 50 plus club. Look at that, 150 people in London. Fantastic. Games. Now see, it's weird. All uploads. We see, it's just, Jack, it's all messed up, Bows. All right, let's see the first one. Maybe that's a dojo game. Hard to say. So this is Blenderman on Lichess. And we got the first problem here, Blenderman, is we are moving too fast. All right, too fast. All right. So he says he wants to try out Owen's defense. Now listen, Blenderman. When you follow the program, especially where you are right now, don't even learn the names of Owen's defense and that defense. Let's learn how to develop your pieces. So it's a little weird. Okay, also a little weird. Bad move. Now why? Because your opponents, first of all, they're not going to be playing whatever thing you memorized or whatever. They're going to be hanging stuff. What's the path to making it to the next level? Taking their stuff. That's right. Yes, sir. Bishop f3, good move, I guess. What else are you going to do? Good move. c6, good. You could also have played d5. Weak. Good. Bring out your guys. Now take on b4 play. Check. So look, you mentioned bishop b4. This is the basic stuff you need to master. Right? Thank you. Weird. I want you to castle, of course. Very good. I want you to bring your other knight out. Check to the miserable king. This is what they get. This is a mild inaccuracy, but given that you are up 1,000 pieces, it ain't so bad, right? a5 is weird. Bishop h4 check maybe, something like that. Thank you very much. All right, look, they're hanging their stuff. I would have preferred you taking the one on f3. Now, you'll still be winning with this, but it's important to see that you miss bishop f7 and rook c6. He's just hanging all this stuff. It's a yard sale. It's a yard sale. And we got somebody over here making some notes. Who is that? Lumbra. Lumbra's kind of famous. Talking about queen e2 leading to mate. Okay. Bed Dathno says, hoping I was playing the U.S. Senior. I know! I got second place last year. They were supposed to invite me back, buddy. What's going on? So, Blenderman, good job. Welcome to the dojo. I think these annotations are great. I actually have very little complaints. You're doing the work. You're playing good chess, and if you play like this, taking the free stuff, you're going to make it to the next level. All right, now we got Felipe Campos. Felipe says, it just started. I used to resign every time I blundered a piece. I didn't fix the display, did I, Pavl? I kind of blew it a little bit. Kind of blew it. Just slow it down, Craig. You're doing fine. Felipe says, I just started. I used to resign every time I blundered a piece instantly, but I stopped that and started focusing more while playing, which made me rise up really fast. I do not belong in the 700 cohort, maybe not even 800, but we will see. Right, now let's just say something. If you're a GM and you lose a piece, that's okay to resign. But here, these people aren't going to close you out. All right, let's give them a follow. Had a nice gain. Hasn't been logging their stuff. I think he just joined it. I think he just joined, doesn't have anything. So tell us who you are, Felipe. Maybe join some clubs or something. And we'll go from there. Next up, we have NJO Home, who I remember. NJ says, I've had less time to focus on chess lately and haven't managed to keep up my 1 hour per day. Having the dojo is a big help in at least doing some work and keep learning despite having many other things going on. Managed to keep a winning record and very happy to be graduating again. All right. So, yeah, I remember SJ Home. 10-year-old daughter. Okay. Great. Looks good. 602. Congratulations. Look at that. Very nice gains. Basically, he joined the dojo. Look at that. And just pure gains since then. This looks great. Okay. Is there a Stockholm dojo? Nice. Not even a Swedish one. We're talking the Stockholm dojo. 10 members in Stockholm. I'm going to go to Stockholm someday, buddy. I want to look you up. Look you up, NJO Home. I'm going to look you up, Frederick. All right, here we go. Now, this all uploads thing is a real disaster. We're working on it. I'm working on it. Jack, dude, you said you... Okay, just let it go. Just let it go. All right, let's look at this one here. So, boom. Yes. All right, let's take a quick look at this time graph. Muy importante. One of the key skills to learn is moving slower. You can see NJO Home really mastered it here. You play randos online. Sometimes even people in dojo, you're going to see lines like this, where they might say that they're playing a 30-minute game, but they're really playing, what, a 5-minute game. You know? And if you spend longer, you will make better moves. All right, here we go. Game review. So far, so good. Fine. And then this is, honestly, this is a move where the ancients tried to sacrifice a pawn like this. And so, I don't know if it's, I put a double question mark. Definitely here, though, knight f3 to gain a tempo. Good move. Now bishop g4. Bishop f5 is fine. Oh, let's trade. Let's trade, Holmes. And you're a greedy dude here, but I think that's okay. Okay. Yeah, you're doing fine. Now, if I was white, I would definitely castle long. Because I would be looking to get you in the following trick that you fell into. Okay, so white now misses a great shot of playing knight b5. Ow, chihuahua. Yeah, so he's got this little mate threat going on, and he's got this one. And the good news, though, is you actually have a defense. Bang! Amazing, amazing. Survived. Okay. Fauger doesn't see any grads in my newsfeed after Felipe. I see loads. All right, so bishop c4, bishop c5, bishop e3, poor. Okay. I don't like it. This is caused by the idea that white has a weak queenside, and I start to work on attacking it. Should have kept the simple plan. Now, when you say simple plan, you should tell us what you want to do, right? It's actually not super simple to develop your knight. Like knight d7 is going to run into knight e6 with tacticos going on over here. So, yeah, not actually so simple. Okay. Notice that you're very far behind in development here. All right. Now you say f6 is important, but I don't know. Why f6? You need to bring out that knight. You need to bring out that knight. I think knight a6 is a good move. Now, the problem is he should now penetrate and ask you some questions. I still think you should be better. You got 2 extra pawns. But that isn't it. Oh, king h8. Now, I want you just to see something, SJO. Okay? Obviously, this guy is playing too fast. He's made that move in 5 seconds. Your move is what we call a reactive move. You're not even looking at the board, right? You're just like, well, he checked me. I'm going to move. So, obviously, bishop takes e7. And this move is also a blunder, knight c6. I guess he technically gets his pawn back, but I mean, he doesn't lose a piece. But this is like what that did is it really helped you to get your pieces out, which is really important. Good move. Okay, you got parity again. h6. I would have preferred king g8. This guy's a trading machine. Now, very interesting situation actually. We've got ourselves an endgame. Yeah, we've got ourselves an endgame here. And it's complicated. It's very complicated. This is where we want to spend some time in the annotations to think about what's going on. I want to stress here that I don't know. I don't quite know what's happening. We want to get our king in, and f5 Maybe, but if we push that pawn could become weak. Really what we want to do is we want to bring this guy in somehow. One of the reasons I wanted you to play King J8 earlier is, that was you need to bring him in. Yeah. Okay, interesting position. I like that less, because now you go bishop d6, good, and now you can bring your king in. Bring him in. Oh, I don't like it. I want you to bring your king in. King d2, poor, losing the pawn. You say, I don't care about the pawn. Take the pawn on h2, bud. Take the pawn on... Oh, now you can't do it anymore. Uh-oh, now we're just hanging all our stuff. King b4. Oh, what should he do? He should be playing knight b5. Now we're getting tricky. Knight f5. e2, good move. Knight d3, good move. And you talk about knight g3, good move. But, well, knight g3 doesn't save it, though, bud, because you still have knight f2. Now, this is a good example of a thing we might want to even analyze. What's going to happen here, What's going to happen here? It's going to get hot. It's going to require some analysis. All right. That's called the queen, baby. All right. Good, I like queen b6, just nice and smooth. Okay, well done, SJO Home. I like the progress you're making. I think one of the things we can say about this game is when you're playing these random 800s and you just spend a little longer, that's how we win. And we wanted you to spend a little longer, especially on that king h8 move. All right, and get your people out, bud. Get the people out. All right, Rad Show, here we go. This is Daniel Amri Lima. Let's see what's going on with Daniel over here. So, Daniel joined last year, but hasn't logged too much. We're going to give him a follow. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on with Daniel. Oh, he's in Brazil. All right. Rapidas. There's the all uploads. All right, we got a 30-0. And then we got this bad boy. And yeah, let's take a look at this time graph. So the obvious thing to say is Daniel might have moved too slow. And at this level, that's a really good problem to have. He says, this is my first 30-minute game ever as a new member of Dojo. I'm trying to follow all the tasks. Good. So this is his first time playing longer, and yeah, so he thought. And maybe he lost on time or something. But the first step is just to make sure we're thinking. All right, let's look at this game. We'll mark it as reviewed. All right. Don't worry about names of openings. Just make developing moves. All right. A poor move. I always love when someone plays this move against me in the French because I will be very happy to exchange my bad bishop. Good. Okay. You're doing great. Okay. Knight e7. Poor move. Why? Because it's not developing. Now, it is going to get all hot when you play queen b6 because you have to be aware that queen f3 is a little hassle in the castle, right? Now, in general, we should believe that this is not going to work for white because they're not developed. But still, we want to be aware of this. Like, for example, we should be investigating the variation g4, which I assume would turn out with this kind of madness. G4, H6. And the heat is on, as the song says. Maybe even the best way for him to play it is like pop. It's hot. It's hot. So we want to, on knight G5, the simple thing is just be like, go home, buddy. We're not interested in any of the things you're saying. Go home. All right, queen b6. h6, please. Oh, that makes me worried. g4 is a strong move now. Queen d4. Rook e1, okay. Now we can always, bishop b7, fine. We can always meet g4 with bishop g5 now. Poor, not developing. Good. Poor. Hanging the business here. All right. That's where this stuff is decided. What do we want? We want you to move the queen and then open the bishop. Poor move, right? Now he sees it. Queen b6. Okay. Poor move. Not developing. Knight h4 looks dangerous at the very least. Knight d4 looks more winning because then I'm going to take this knight. That's bad. Thank you very much. Well done, Daniel. Well done. Well done. Okay. Let me just say what I've said in these videos, how to make 600 or make 700. It's about people hanging stuff. How to join? Just go to scoreboard, ChessDojo.com.org, whatever you want. Not actually, yeah, just ChessDojo.org.com, and you will find it. You can log in there. Next up, we got Rembrandt. All right. And Rembrandt. What's going on with Rembrandt? Joined a ways back, but hasn't logged some stuff. Maybe at the very beginning of their journey. Hasn't done much since then. Made it to 800, then briefly dropped down. That's okay. Clubs. The heat map heroes. Well, Rembrandt, if you're going to be a heat map hero, you gotta put some stuff up here, bud. You don't just get to be part of that club and not do a bunch of stuff. Okay, yeah. Let's go. Chessclub.club. Here we go. Here's my business. Heat map 0. That's where you can come join the dojo right there. All right. So, where were we? Rembrandt. What are you doing, bud? We got some games? We don't got anything. So I think Rembrandt might have joined with the intention of doing a bunch of stuff, but it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. Okay, my friends, we continue. So, here we go. Next up, we have Nausifon. Nausifon, 845. Joined fairly recently, did some work. Went up. Beautiful. No clubs. Tell us something about yourself, Nausifon. All uploads. Here's Nausifon. Boom. Good. So, this is a 30-0, and here we have it. We're happy that Nausifon has a better time management rating than Black. Right? We're happy about that. Okay. Hopefully that's how we crushed him here. So, a tight win. My time management was bad in this game. Well, time out. It might have been poor, but it was a heck of a lot better than your opponent's, right? Good. Fine. All right, knight d4. Small mistake because the queen is actually pretty well developed here. And I think your note is perfect. Okay. Okay. And now you can win a pawn, I guess. Okay. Now, queen d4 is a little hard to deal with. That's a bad move. Queen d6, thank you very much. Now you have what's called a winning endgame. Okay. All right. Good move. I like your moves. Take that thing. Okay, that one makes me nervous. Okay. Because now I think Black could have won a piece with rook c8. These are the basic things we want to look for. Now, this is a nice endgame, of course. Rook d2. I like rook d7 best. Good move. Well, now, see, now he should play rook e2. And I don't know why it says white wins. Like, why did white win? Is it over? Yeah, I like what you're saying here, especially with the king being developed. So I don't know why the game ended here. At this level, it could still carry on for sure. Matt Chess says, it is likely because he did not publish the game yet, but the other folder has visibility set to visible. Dude, we gotta figure this out, man. This, well, let's go back. See, I don't understand. First of all, let me just say what's supposed to happen. Jack was like gonna have the My Games folder. Everyone will eventually have a My Games folder. What do you mean visibility set to visible? I don't see it. No may say anything. Right? I don't see it. Are we saying this is the one that should have been looked at? Oh, this is our same one. Yeah. Okay, so I don't get it. All right, gotcha. All right, here we got Lee. We have 33 items on our development thing. They all got to get done. We need to hire another dev person, dude. We got too much going on. Okay. So this is a beautiful graph. I don't see the visibility on. Maybe I'm going to look at Lee's game and you can tell me where you see the visibility because I don't see it. This is a beautiful graph. Joined last year. Kind of sporadic logging. But he made it. That's a beautiful graph here. Clubs, no clubs, games. See, I hit all uploads. I'm not seeing any visibility thing here. But game not published. I don't, yeah. No, see nothing. All right. So here's a game. We got a very interesting time graph. And you can see that at a certain point, Black lost the energy to calculate, to look, and just started making impulsive moves. Very common at this level. All right, so let's go game review. Your time management is amazing. All right, here we go. Good. Fine. Good. Poor, not developing. Fine. Okay. Okay, fine. Good move. And now the knight has undeveloped itself. This is kind of fancy to my mind. I would prefer something like knight f3 or maybe queen h5 to start looking at the black king. Okay, you could have done, if you wanted to do that, you could have done that without rook b1. I don't know about that. Good. And now actually, well, here's some very fancy stuff is about to happen. Some very fancy stuff. So you're going to go for it like this. And that's definitely going to be an interesting position, maybe winning. The easy way at this point would now be to use your rook, as you said. This can't take because of a3. And so bishop b7 we can imagine. And then next move we take this thing. Now let's see if yours works. Boom! Check to the miserable king. That wasn't it. King g6. In our variations, it would have been very helpful to look at king g6. Okay? That's the kind of tricky question that goes down in this opening. And very important for you to analyze it because you'll get similar positions later. So for example, king g6, maybe check, maybe here, maybe here. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's very spicy. Okay. Here's a nice variation. Bishop e7. Check. Takes. Bam! Oh, baby! That's why this is the kind of thing. If we can analyze it without the computer, we can do the computer after. We can analyze it without the computer. You will learn how these things work. Also, the king g6, we got to look at it. Good move. Check the miserable king. Now, if he was going to move the rook, then rook d8, because now we at the very minimum we can take the bishop on d7, and you did. That doesn't look right. So, the easy thing for you to do here is just move your bishop out of the way and say, hey, I've destroyed the guy's coconuts. Now, the other thing we actually just want to briefly look at is what would have been the state of this variation. Boom, 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 boom. Would that be crushing? It looks real bad. Let's look. King d8. King f7. King e8, I mean. Or maybe you could. Like here. 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 That's a little spicy still. This is what I mean. That move maybe, it's not done yet. It's not done. This is the kind of thing I want people to analyze. You will get really good at tactics. Knight f7 didn't help. And now you're losing your mind. You're just hanging all your stuff. Queen c7. Ooh, he misses it. So this is where we need to analyze. Queen c7, winning the game. Good move, king f1. Good move. Doesn't do anything. You can play king e2. I want you to play king e2. Okay. Thank you. Rook b4. This is where we need to analyze. It's not over yet. Things need to be said here. All right, winning. Good. Well done. So more annotations will help you learn things like this sack that you did. By the way, massive props that you even considered it. At this level, where are we at, bud? 9 to 1,000 to play bishop h7 at all? Amazing. Amazing. Right? So, we're going to go back. This is a grad show. Okay, and we got Rock Doctor coming up here. Boom. What is the Rock Doctor? Joined fairly recently. Let's give him a follow. 904. Some clubs. Tell us who you are. Tell us something. Tell us what the Rock Doctor is all about. He's got a game here. Let's take a look. We got a time graph? No. This probably, I'm going to guess this has to do with, well, I don't know. Could have been an OTB game. Let's see. So we're going to just mark this as review. We're going to go game review. We're going to get over here. Poor move, bishop c4. Now you win a very important tempo. Good. Good. Fine. 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 Weird. It's probably okay. I would have preferred knight f6. Poor, not developing. Good. Your development is awesome. Awesome. Queen c7, a little bit weird. Maybe if you want to play queen c7, a cool way to do it would be bishop b8 followed by queen c7, threatening mate. I didn't understand king f1. Notice that they're not bringing out their stuff. They need to be focused on bringing out their stuff. Ooh, 93. Is that a nice move? At the time, I thought this pawn was free, but I guess he missed this. Okay. Black is still better due to white lack of development. Now, one of the key things, I'll stress it, you're going to see many players at this level not develop. I do think you're doing good. Probably we want to just take that pawn on c4. Queen b2. Poor. He needs to play c5, I think. Thank you. Check the miserable. Good move. And now we're winning because the knight is pinned. The knight is pinned, my friends. This is what happens when they don't develop their pieces. You mentioned c5. Good. I agree. That's why I kind of wanted you to take on c4 earlier. You're still doing... I don't know. Actually, it's kind of complicated. It's kind of complicated at this point. All right. So, let's continue. We have up next V. Kalmari, returning after 10 months. Rating has gone up nicely. So now we're passing very important threshold to get out of the under 1,000. So we're going to give him a follow. 1,300 ChessCom. So, beautiful. Loads of clubs. This guy's all over the place. He is somewhere in Scandinavia. Now, we got the Stockholm club is bigger than the Scandinavian club. Now, if he's a member of this one, he better... How can you can't be a member of the Heat Map Heroes unless you're bringing it, V. Kalmari. Okay. Games. This all uploads thing is a disaster. I apologize. Now, notice I just want to stress as we go up, the time control moves up, gets a little bit longer. So now we're at 30-30. We're going to look at V. Kalmari here playing a slightly higher rated opponent. And look at that. Look at that, my friends. This is why we created the graph. We saw this so much where the people aren't thinking at all. Now, was this a dojo game? Doesn't say. All right. So, game review. Weird. Good move. Fine. Fine. Okay, I think. A little weird. What do I want you to do? I want you to bring out this bishop somewhere and then castle. All right. Queen d3. Now we're screwing it up. Are we? Okay. Good move. Queen c2. Very nice. Now the good news is, even though you blundered something, your development is so good that you're still doing fine. If he takes the pawn, you're going to have bishop b2, and it's going to be a mess for him. Good move. Poor. And you say bishop b5 check exclam. I got a better move for you, buddy. How about this? Check to the miserable king. House line is here. So one of the things about the puzzle rush is, especially at this level, it's good to do. This is, first of all, a mistake because they're not developing. Let's just focus on that for a second. When they don't develop, that's when we often get a chance for some kind of tactic. So you saw it here first. No bueno. No, 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 no. That's not the way we play. Check to the miserable king. I mentioned Puzzle Rush because Puzzle Rush has a gazillion tactics like that. That wasn't it. He needed to play like King D8 or something. And then he's blundering it again. Let's take on B7, buddy. Takes check to the miserable king. Oh, that's two queens. Now, when I used to hustle chess in the park, there was a dude there who told me that 2 rooks was a tornado and 2 queens was a hurricane. And that's always stuck with me. Okay, fine. 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 Little frisky, but okay. Good move. We just need to consolidate here. Look at those queens. Look at those queens, bud. There we go. This curse is not residing. Oh, yeah. So why did they lose? Because they moved too fast. Because they moved too fast. All right, well done, V. Kalmari. That was some good stuff. Big J is next over here. Big J doesn't tell us anything. He's doing a little work, though. joined a while back. He did some work here, and then he left us. Life got busy, and then he came back here. As aus Deutschland, 1200 rating over here. And Big J, you're in the wrong cohort. You're in the wrong cohort. Now, maybe you have some sympathy. Maybe you felt like, since this was lower, all right, so maybe you were just like averaging it out a little bit. Okay. Clubs. We got the German dojo. Okay. And then we got some games. And we got beat Big J against the league opponent. These are all ancient games, though. Houseline, thank you for subscribing. Houseline is famous, by the way. Houseline is helping us with our YouTube. He's also done some amazing vids of his own. We're trying to get him to do some amazing vids for us, Houseline. You know, you did those amazing vids about chess improvement, all that stuff, genius level. You know, I do a vid, I feel like my video skills are like a 900. I'm going to give myself a solid 900. But Houseline, he's probably at least 18, 1900, maybe higher, dude. Maybe higher. I don't have the skill to even judge that high. Get him to make some dojo vids, you know, then we're crushing. So in general, I don't want to go over games that are ancient. So Big J, you're gonna graduate again soon, especially if you start using your German rating. And then, you know, we'll get some new games going on. I don't know, Houseline. How could a 900 judge somebody who's 1,000 points higher? Let's just think about that for a second. You directed Anna Taylor-Joy and Tom Holland? That's pretty amazing, dude. I didn't know about that. 2750. Holy moly. I guess when you name drop like that, that makes it easier for me to bump up your rating. You know, you just name drop and then the person's rating goes up a lot. You know, it's like, I used to date Jennifer. And you're like, oh, that guy's like 2570, dude. All right. Sarinson was waiting for rating to stabilize before graduation. Enjoyed the middle game sparring position. Learned a lot of development / piece activity and tempo from the exercise. Could not figure out any plan to avoid losing for endgame sparring position with the outside pass pawn. Okay, good. So, from Malaysia, looking great. 1247. So honestly, they're ready to graduate again. They took a break. They kind of been going in sporadic spurts here. You can see lots of tactics. Okay, clubs. Malaysian, great. He's clearly the one member of the Malaysian dojo. I yell at a lot of people in the Asian dojo because that's just too vague for me. Right? How many time zones are we talking about here? So, but that's good. So I yelled at him, I've yelled at others, and now we got the Malaysian dojo. I'm pumped to see that. And let's take a look. Now, if this thing that Jack has yet to fix is killing me. Now, I think this has got to be good, though. He said he was going to fix it, Houseline. All right, here we go. So, he doesn't have a OTB rating yet, and he's playing these guys that do. So let's take a look. All right, so boom. Oh, look at this time graph. Let's just stress it. As we come up the dojo, we start seeing better use of time. Right? We start seeing. Okay, here we go. Game review. And boom. Our hero's making good moves so far. Fine. Little funky, of course. It's a little subtle, but we're gonna allow it. Fine. And this is generally a mistake because for black for two reasons. One, if we play g4, the bishop's going to be sidelined over there. And two, this is a pretty simple business way to play now. To break the pin. Good. Oh, and we're just going to say this is the full spice here with G4. And what you can see what he was doing, he was waiting. He was waiting for black to do this. Now I want to stress something. G4 is interesting. I don't think it's bad. But yeah, we'll leave it at that, right? We'll leave it at that. Knight G3 also produces an attack. I would prefer Knight G3 here. Let me just explain why. Because we have to fix the knight anyway. The G5 break isn't going anywhere. We might also start in like this. The knight has to be part of the attack. Okay. Bishop D2. What do I prefer? I prefer H4. Queen E7. Do I understand that move? I don't. Good move. Knight G3 now. Very good. All right, so now we won the light squares. We're looking great. Great position. Queen F6, probably their best move. Now, Queen G2. I would prefer Knight F5 here if we could. Right? Knight F5. But you're still doing fine. Castles. This looks like a problem. And he says, miss that the queen could take the pawn. So it happens to everybody. You mentioned Bishop G5. I think that's a nice move. That's a bummer. Okay, black has to be super careful here. This looks like a pawn grubby kind of thing that he's doing to me. Now, I think your instinct to not trade queens was correctamundo. And if I could, I would like to avoid that queen trade. King C2, something like that. You trade it off. It's a huge relief to your opponent that they get to trade that thing off. Poor, not developing. And then you talk about Bishop A4. I appreciate this move. Okay. In principle, I'm okay. You're just developing. What should they do, by the way? They should fix their knight. We'll see how long it hangs out there. Now you help him. You're like, hey, I want to help you come back to where you should be. Good. Good. Bishop B3. Good. Knight F5, check to the miserable king. Check to the miserable king. And now a great variation here would be King F6, Bishop G5, check. Ow, Chihuahua. Mate! I'm going to admit it, Boomer GM was hopefully just going to, he just wanted to win the rook. But here we're just mating. We're just mating and taking. So we say thank you very much. We could consider rook takes G6, of course. That would be frisky. King H8, Knight E7. So now Knight E7 will win a pawn. If here, we'll go here. That looks pretty pleasant for a peasant, huh? All right. Good move. I think I prefer just taking. Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. Your move was better. Your move was better. That wasn't it. Now this is highfalutin stuff, man. Look at that. You're gonna Bishop G5 him next? Oh, that's genius. Dang. I'll take that. I'll just go back. Yeah. Is there a mate here? Oh, it's gonna get nasty. Oh man. Take it easy. Take it easy. So you criticize yourself for not playing for a mate, but you know, at this point. I'm a big fan of checkmates, but you're doing great. That was I'm going to say that was a very high level game. I think that was like your first OTB tournament. That was just well done. Yeah. I would say this was the only thing I was like, that's a little too soon. And of course you missed Queen F2, but you know, you had the feeling, the correct sense of how to conduct the attack. And your opponent, as most of these players at this level, aren't going to feel the need to keep their pieces active. Okay. So, here we go. We're back to the grad show, and we have Tone Taoba. So, Tone Taoba says, I am happy to be graduating after intensive studies and hope to maintain and surpass this level. Let's go give him a look. So, we're suspecting this person is from Germany. We're going to give him a follow. And they've been doing some good work. Oh, look at that, dude. Doing a lot of work. It's second graduation. Looks really good. Tone Taoba means tone deaf. There's his German rating, as expected. So he's got 1128 over there, and a comparable rating with the lead chess. Eventually, Tone Taoba, we want you to switch to this bad boy. Eventually. Clubs. The German dojo. There we go. Games. We're fixing it. I know I said it already, but we're going to fix this thing. It's going to say my games. Wait, that's a 2024. We want to see if there's any from more recently. There we go. So, this is world champion Luke John. Wait a second. This is lead chess. Ooh, this one isn't annotated or lightly annotated. Let's look at Tomas. Also lightly annotated. Okay. Now, time out just for a second. I just want to see if there's a game where you put some good. So we want more, Tone Taoba. We want more. Just look at one more over here. We'll take a look at one of them. Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a look at maybe just this first one. In general, we want to see a little bit more than, well, yeah. We want to see more over here, buddy. Well, yeah. First of all, let's look at the time graph, and then I'll show you the annotations. Good use of time. You can see, it feels like, we'll see what happened at move 22, but it feels like you lost energy here. You started making impulsive decisions. All right, so here's our game review. And you can see there's a lot to discuss here. Your opponent's playing random moves. Fine. Weird. Check? I don't want to check. I don't want to do that. I want you to bring your people out. Okay? What would be some standard moves here? Rook B1 followed by B4. Rook E1. You know, we got to get our people out. That's moving a developed piece twice. That's just messing around. Okay. 96 looks pretty good. Shouldn't have allowed that. I don't understand Rook B1 there. Because what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, what are we doing? Hier hat Weitpawn. Einfach wieder. Is that his name? Weitpawn? Einfach wieder einen random Zug gemacht. I don't understand what Weitpawn is. But yeah, you should play A-B3. Okay. Tone Taoba, let's just say the obvious. We want you to make some more notes. Look at this. All kinds of things should be said over here. So BA2. Good. I don't know why we're taking. I like this. Let's play E5. Oh. Yep. Mit A5. He says with E5 I'd be back in the game. Yep. Okay. What ended up happening? Check to the miserable king. Good move. Rook G3 now. Queen G5. Queen E7. Oh no. Pop. Okay. Actually, Tone Taoba, I want to just tell you the most important thing that I see in terms of improvement. Let's go back to your time graph. As you can see, you stopped thinking at move 22. It was a very complicated position. Now, I'm going to go ahead and guess. I know exactly what it had to do with. We're going to go back. It had to do, this game review. It had to do with you hanging your pawn here when you played bishop d3, so you became dispirited. As you can see, however, it wasn't time to resign. It wasn't time to resign. This guy let you have another chance, right? Resilience. It's not over yet. And so what I can see in that, you see it in other time, you see it with other things in life, is when you get upset at yourself and you have a fucking attitude, right? Because you messed up, then you got a time graph that starts looking like that. Okay, so here we go. Mark that as reviewed. And now we have a famous person here. This is Nemo, who has graduated again and again and again. Nemo says, I'm happy to graduate again, slowly climbing up the levels. After half a year in the dojo, I still enjoy the structured training plan. Having something to stick to every day without thinking about what to do is very helpful. I particularly enjoy the games to memorize. The explanation videos by the senseis really bring the games to life, illustrating the passion for the game and for the artistry. Similarly, the most instructive games, reading that book, Chernev's passion flows out of his prose. It's a lot of fun and instructive. I hope to join more dojo tournaments in the future because I haven't had a chance to play slow chess over the board. The games in dojo tournaments in the past were qualitatively different, better than the online pool. Also more difficult. Okay, beautiful. So, this is Nemo. You can see Nemo is crushing it with the program. He has gone up 317 points. Started playing chess in 2023. The guy's just going up. Just going up. Okay, so clubs, Asian dojo, in the Japan dojo. So you can see, he knows I yelled at him just like the Malaysian guy. And now we've got a member of the Japan dojo. We have a dojo member from 2020, Chess Latte, in Japan. So maybe we can get Chess Latte to join that thing. All right, Nemo, let's see what we got. Black mood. All right, here we go. This is a 30-20. Rated classical. Here's our time graph. And we're playing a rando. We can see they're not thinking. They're not thinking. Your time graph, look at that, 27:52. That's amazing. Amazing. So here we go. A little weird, but okay. All right. Poor move, doesn't do anything. Good move. Poor move, not developing. Spicy. What do I want you to do? You know I want you to play bishop e7 in castles, right? g4, good move. Bishop h6 maybe? h5, good. Bishop h6, good move. All right, good. Good. Okay. This one's an interesting decision to me. I'm pretty sure I would want to play queen g5 here. I don't want to allow the rook to be open like that. That's too frightening for me. f5, that's also too frightening for me. You need to bring your knight in. Okay. f5, you're just opening up all your stuff. Yes, he should play ef. c3 doesn't do anything. Good move. Fine. Spicy. Yeah, this is a little spicy, but I think you're okay. Now we need to fix your rook. h4, nice move. Nice move, I like that a lot. Good move. All right, now it's spicy, but I don't think he has the right to do this. Check to the miserable king. Bang. Bang. Okay. Good move. Queen f2, very nice. Yeah, well done. That was very well done, Nemo. Okay, so what we want to say is good notes, great time graph. One of the reasons we won this game is because our opponent didn't think, right? And we want to be a little more careful with moves like G5 and then later F5. Could you explain what the clubs are for? The clubs are for a couple different purposes. And after I explain this, I'm going to take a little break for myself. I need a break. Several things. If you, let's say the one I really aspire the clubs to be used for is, let's say you belong to a club, and then your club is in here. Let's say one of the German teams. Then you have your own thing here, and then you see who's done the work, and you can see what they need to do. So maybe you do some work with them that you also need to do. Then we have clubs where, let's call it the time zone club. You know, there's a European club. Those people often want to play at the same time. Let's say the European dojo. So that's a way to find people who are in the same time zone to play or spar against. And then we have interest clubs, right? Just people want to talk about something. That's cool. We have aspirational clubs like the Heat Map Heroes. That people want to show like what they've been doing. And also, we have language groups. Let's say the German dojo, and then they can get together. They might want to do some analysis in German instead of talking English. Fine. Or the French dojo, the Brazil dojo, for example. Okay. I would say, Yellow, that you decide on what to join based on your interest, and especially if you are in, I don't know, let's say you're in Singapore, you want to, if there isn't a Singapore club, you want to create one, and then you can find somebody to play with in real life. Okay, I'm going to be right back.
Welcome to Dojo. Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to glow when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the club is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin. Who cheated who, which engine that he packing. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes. True, not over the board, it's only the other chap. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions distract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rules his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game...
Alright, here we go, Grad Show. Akun says, wants to ask me a question. I'm here for your question. Matt Chess says, but all uploads only show published games. No, we need a My Games folder, Matt, and correct the mundo. People don't understand. I don't think Jack understands. I've been yelling at him for weeks. Okay. Next up, we got Pavl. He says, okay, this isn't really reaching new level, but I've returned to my best so far. Good moment to graduate before reaching the next one. All right, let's go take a look. So, give him a follow. 43 from Poland. Beautiful. And it hasn't been marking too much down on the heat map. It's a little hard to judge there. Clubs. Do we got a Polish dojo? Pavl, can we get a Polish dojo or maybe a Warsaw dojo? You know, something like that. Coders live in your basement. That's fun. If you want a coding job, we might have one for you. So here is a game. Boom. We do not have a time graph for this game. Let's just look at what's going on. It's a Lichess thing. You can import the times from Lichess when you do your annotation. So you're surprised, expecting e4 from a dojo student. Now, I think he's forking tall, so we're going to flip this. Poor. Here my opening knowledge ends. I have a chessable course e6 against everything. Now let me just say, this is where opening courses lead you astray. Of course h6 you don't want to play. What's the right move? Knight f6. Okay. Fine. Poor, losing time. Fine. 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 Poor, helping your queen develop. Queen e7, thank you very much. Let me hit him with a6 now. Good move. Hit him with b5 now. Good move. Rook d8, fine. Beautiful chess. dc5, that looks like a blunder. And now we have to wonder, does knight b4 win the coconut? It looks like a real problem, doesn't it? All right. So, knight e5. And now, interesting moment. By the way, why is white landed in this predicament? Because they did not develop their pieces. Here you play queen c5, and what's the glory of it is that you saw that white could play bishop h7, and that you were better, which I believe. I believe that's true. So this is an example of the kind of calculation that we want to develop at this level. It's not super deep, but we just want to be aware. When we play queen c5, we want to be aware of this thing. Some people could dismiss it, for example. They'd say bishop h7, I'm losing my rook, but then you win the knight. All right, he does it. You say thank you, and thank you. So, all right, so can you play bishop b7? I don't think we want to do it yet. Good move. Now bishop b7. Good move. Knight e3, frisky. That's pretty frisky, bows. Taking advantage that white lost the initiative. I calculate that I can regain the rook. Wow. Well, I just want to say you have a very good tactical eye, right? You found the, the queen c5 stuff. And this is, very well done. Boom, boom, boom. Now, here we're going to be up a gazillion pawns. I'm just looking. I'm just wondering if queen g5 is potentially even stronger. Because if g3, then knight e3 is really the end. In any case, what you did was fine. We just want to make sure that nothing terrible happens to us. Rook g8. Ooh, look at that. Look at that dirtiness. If king g8, over. Good. Fine. I like how your queen's covering the diagonal. Ooh, hey, you got some nasty tactics in you, son. Dang. You got some skills. Simple chess. Check to the miserable king. We're just taking all the stuff today. Good move. Okay. Yeah, I thought you showed some real tactical talent there a couple times. It would be very useful for us to see the times in the game. You can do that if you're playing on League Chess. And to notice as well that this level, you don't want to be playing h6. I don't care about what course it is. I don't care about no course. Okay. Here we go. So did I do this? Yes, I did. Hey. Uh-oh. The scene's kind of messed up there. I didn't notice that. I got to fix that. So, go back to grad show. I'm going to have to look at that again once we get there. No one told me. No one told me the scene was all messed up. Jacob joined fairly recently, has done some tactics. Got some clubs, Jacob? Nothing. Games? I don't know because Jack won't fix it. We're really on Jack today, buddy. All right, Jacob, you know what you need to do. You need to log some stuff, put in some games, maybe join some dojo tournaments. Next up, we got Joe. Joe's done a little bit of work here. Joined fairly recently. Give him a follow. 1502, very nice. Clubs, the Dutch Dojo. There we go. We had a top chess countries of all time, and both David and Kostya put the Netherlands in there in the top 10. I was a little shocked. You know, I understood their arguments though. All right, so all uploads. We got Joe against Jam. Now I want to check. First of all, let's do time graph. No time graph. So we're going to test my Dutch ability in about a second here. So first game review. I want to look at this thing. Is my game review thing? Yeah, there's something wrong, but I got to fix it. Why is it all wrong? There's something going on. No, that's okay. How come? There's some silly thing going on here. Oh, why? Okay, wait. This board is all wrong. I don't know. What? What is this? What is this here? Why would it be? And then what happened here? I don't understand. We'll just keep it right there. No, I don't. But how could it have changed? I haven't changed anything. What happened? Oh gosh. All right, great. We're getting it. I don't know why. I don't know why it. You know, this is why I'm only about an 800 when it comes to streaming. Okay, so this is also a little wrong. There we go. So, oh, it's killing me. Good. So here we go. I figured it out, I think. Okay. The accepted Queen's Gambit, I got that. I develop further with Knight C3. And then this is called the Dama, the Queen's Pard variant. I don't know what the Pard means. But I got a Dutch rating. Just from knowing German I give myself about a 400. Bishop F4. Fine, we're developing. Poor. Helping your center. Fine. Good, I like that. Fine. Good move. You have fine compensation now for the pawn. Okay. Oh, I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. See, I got the pieces. That's white, bishop. Yeah. Look at this. I improve my pawn structure and make the diagonal free for my white bishop. Dang, dude. Maybe I should raise my Dutch rating. My Dutch rating is going up. Elio wants to quickly show us my own activity. I will do that. So even though we lost a pawn, I feel like we have very nice compensation. Poor, not developing. Fine. Poor, not developing. Good move. Thank you. Fine. With a, I don't know that. I know it's on C6, but I don't know what ons Valsdol means. Good. Queen A3. I like queen, he says queen A5 was better. I think he maybe queen B7. You're going, yeah, it's weird. You're going, okay, you're doing fine though. Good move, finally. Let's start taking things. Now this was poor because we lost F2. So we have to say, we should put a question mark here. And, oh yeah, here we go. White stands clearly better. Oh, my Dutch dude. You know, maybe it's because I got that Dutch last name that I'm able to do it. So, better was bishop f4, good. Okay. Good move. I like the bishop coming to e5. Good move. Good. Good. That's not it. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? You just lost all your coconuts. Okay. So, very interesting position. We want to talk maybe about the bishops of opposite color and those kinds of questions. Definitely what's deciding the game is your opponent is hanging stuff, right? Jam is hanging stuff. Okay, so let's take a break and show my own activity for LEO Yellow. How come I'm having some little snafus here? Let's just fix this over here. And we're going to go grad show. And I actually have to, anyways, I have to log my own activity. So we'll go to my business. This is me over here. Now it says that this is technically non-dojo tactics, but I'm reading this amazing book, Turbocharger Tactics. I'm doing that every morning. And it's volume 2. We have volume 1 in the program. So me doing volume 2 is not only, continuation of that, but also it's a beautiful thing where we'll add it to the program. So I need to get in here, and we're going to log my time from this morning. So what did I do? I did an hour and a half, and I got up to 93. It's about 10 problems. We'll say update. And then I did some opening work. And I did about 2 hours this morning. And so you can see what am I for the week. We'll go weekly. I'm almost at the 15-hour goal. Yeah. So, and there you can see my heat map. What happened over here, Cry? I don't know. I don't know. I was kind of surprised I didn't hit 15. So you can set your own hours. The default is 7 hours, which I feel is a little bit high. My default is 15 hours. I thought I'd hit it recently. What did it say? I did 14:55. I should have done 5 extra minutes in there, buddy. Come on now. Okay. So let's go back. Boom. Boom. Just go here. Boom. And next up we have Yannick. Yannick is doing a lot of middle games and strategy as well as some end games every day, or almost every day, so that looks good. We're going to give him a follow. 1609. We got some no clubs. Games. Nothing. So Yannick, I think it's cool you're doing the middle games and the end games. We definitely want you to do some annotations as well. Ratings, what is he? Got ChessCom Rapid. Elite Chess, okay. Paul Morphe Lives is next. And he writes, now I'm back in the 15-16, which I was in pre-normalization of ratings. I have a chess lesson every week and try to do tactics every day, though I'm not the best about logging my time. Entering the 1600 cohort is a big step for me. If I'm able to make it one more graduation, it will be the highest I've ever been. A lot of sweat work will be required. Jesse, could you do my game against Roberto Cabello? Can do. Okay, beautiful. Now, let's just say some obvious stuff. As we go up, it's going to take more work to make it. So 72s, no chump change. What he's talking about is we had to shift the ratings. We had to, every 2 years or so, we're going to try to normalize the ratings because Lichess goes crazy, and the big thing that happened was FIDE went crazy. So imagine that all these different rating systems are like different currencies, and so imagine 2 years goes by and you got to readjust the currencies. All right, so here we go. Paul Morphe lives. All right. So 1615, doing some tactics. I bet he's doing more than this, honestly. Got a nice tactics rating. Give us a club, Paul Morphe. And then we're going to do Roberto Cabello. He's playing a higher rated player here. And let's see. We got a time graph. Beautiful. So there's a league game with 2 weeks to prepare. Okay, so he knew exactly what was coming too. So I guess we could say because he knew exactly what was coming, he was able to play the opening moves potentially very fast. His opponent apparently felt confident in what he was doing as well. Sometimes, even though we're not at a GM level yet, we'll see people who, with preparation, are really able to go deep in their opening prep. Elio says, how do you start writing time OTB when you are used to not doing that your entire life? Well, it's not that hard. I get it that it can be weird at first. Let's go game review. But some people start off by doing it every 5th move. That's one way to do it. It's a beautiful, very helpful thing, not only after the game, but during the game. It will help you become aware of your own time usage as well as your opponent's. It doesn't, and it just takes a second. It's just like you write it down on your score sheet, and then it's just a quick check-in with what's going on with the time. All right, here we go. So he was prepared for this, as we talked about. 95, and he prepared this with his coach. Dang. Okay, so C6, this is very common. Bishop C4, good move. Yeah, this is all prepped out. Okay, good move. And now we're going to take that thing. Okay, so I agree. H5, Bishop E4, and the coach talks about Rook H3 here. We castled. And black goes Bishop D5. Knight takes, pawn takes, Bishop D3. Very interesting position. And he says last move of book, and he says white's a little bit better. Now, I think it would be good to talk about the dynamics here, because one thing about this position is if the computer tells you it's better, then you might be like, okay, I'm better. But why are we better? See, because I can tell you what the computer sees. Computer likes the 2 bishops and also doesn't mind the pawns advanced on the king side. Doesn't mind it. But I can imagine some old-time GMs feeling totally fine here for black, because your king has grief as well. Okay? So, Bishop D6. All right, let's just play Bishop D6. There's other things to talk about. I don't know why Bishop C4 happened there. I clicked something. Queen F3. First serious think of the game. Played with the idea, developing actively and stopping queenside castling via F7 pressure. So this is where it's hard. It would be hard for me too. My instinct would be to play C3 here. Bishop E3 also comes to mind. And it's a legitimate question, like, is he going to castle queen? Is that something the guy wants to do? I don't know. Yeah. It's hot. It's a very hot position. All right, Queen F3. I think I'm okay with this Queen F3 move. Queen C7. C3. Okay. You're right. I don't love this move because I'm still not developed, but I wanted to pass the move to black to ask them where they want. H6. Conceivably a reasonable move. to maybe play knight f6 at some point. What do you think they should do? You talked about bishop h2. I don't like that. Knight f6, and also castles. I guess that's the most critical question. And then black at some point might well play e5. Okay, so h6. Fine. Check the miserable king. King e7. I don't like that. So now he's really in trouble because his king is in danger. Now you played the prophylactic move, b3. I think we should talk about g5. Okay, I like what you're doing. Oh, I don't like that. He's just opening up his own business. Good move. And are you winning here? Probably. Wait a second. Wait a second. What was the problem with hg4? Queen e3. My plan was to keep the bishop trapped by controlling f4. I see. Okay, very nice. So what he's saying is, like, let's imagine knight c8. Then he wants rook h1. Okay, I like that. Okay, very high level, hard game here. We still have rook h1. We still got it. g3, and now queen f4. I'm going to admit I'm a little confused by queen f4. I guess it's winning, but we could just take this. Oh, I get it. Genius. So if here, we cannot do it because of this. Oh, very nice. So queen f4 is definitely a nice move. Dang. That might be good night Lucy right there. I think it's just winning now. Thank you. And as long as we just cover. Yeah. Dang. So, big prep, and I thought the game was very interesting. And I really want to stress that this is the kind of position you want to talk about. Because the old timers might not see it the way the computer sees it. And because of that, it might really actually be kind of a much harder position to play than it might just at first appear. Yeah. Okay, great. I thought that was a beautiful annotation. Paul Morphe lives. Congratulations. Dolik is Pard is night. Oh, I knew it. I knew it was like Fed, like the German Fed. Pod, like partner. All right, here we go. Great. That was in the YouTube chat. I'm trying to go back and forth a little bit. If my rating was higher, I'd have a thing that would allow me to see the chat in both, but my rating, I've worked on it. I can't figure it out. Oines says, had a stellar tournament performance and then got quite busy. Need to get back into it. Maybe I should try again. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Boom, let's give him a follow. I'm from Santa Fe, the superior city to Albuquerque. But, I kept my airport there in Albuquerque. That's where I kept it. So, Coronado Chess Club. He leads it. Beautiful. Coronado Chess Club's been around for a while. When am I playing the next tournament? Great question. Weekend after this coming one. Me and Chris Koski and a couple others are playing the U.S. Senior Open. I'm unfortunately not in, even though I won second place last year, I'm not invited to the closed tournament this year because I've been stinking up the dojo. There we got 4 New Mexico players. Wait a second, should I join it, bud? I think I should join it. I'm in there already. There we go. There's the dojo over there in New Mexico. Some people were asking about the point. This is the point. You get to know who's in New Mexico, and you'll see him at a tournament or something. You might do some sparring. Okay, so again, this all upload thing is just murdering me. This was played recently enough. This is a game, Albuquerque Chess, game 60. At this level, we would want you to play a slightly longer than game 60. Here is our time graph. And yeah, now your problem is you're moving a little too slow. Can happen. It would be cool if we played a slightly longer time control. All right, so game review. And we're playing somebody who is very high rated. So let's give this a look. I'm pretty sure these are OTB ratings. Fine. Fine. Fundamentally fine. I like bishop d3 or knight c6 a little bit better, but okay. Spicy. Spicy. I like the way you're playing. Good. All right, here we go. King b1. And you say, my opponent was afraid I'd go for this very drawish line with bishop e5 and queen b7. Okay. Well, okay, so this is a very important point in the annotation. When you say h4 is much too slow and you need to do something now, you need to now tell us. You need to tell us what that something is. Yeah. Example. I don't know if this is any good, but you could consider knight e2 intending knight g3, forcing the knight to open up the h file. This is an example. You need to find an idea here yourself, though, right? You need to find the idea. I'm sure bishop d3 is also a thought. This is a problem because now it's very hard to dislodge that knight. e5. I'm not thrilled about e5 necessarily. Maybe it's not so bad. I'll let it go. Let it go, Jesse. Let it go. Oh, wow, spicy. E d5. Bishop d5. Very spicy. So, he's got a trick. Now, why did this trick happen to us, by the way? Because our pieces are poorly developed. Black's playing it great. I don't like rook g1. Now, it's important to say you are not lost yet. And you probably want to do something like rook d2 or, yeah, rook d2 followed by this. Trade off some stuff. It's not over yet. He still needs to, has a bad knight and has got to fix it. Yeah, so that was actually, wait a second. Queen c1, rook a c8's a blunder because he just needs to play queen c4 and it's all over. Well, this is what happens. So notice what we did. We fixed this problem over there with the knight. Pretty frisky to take on h4, probably fine. Yep. Okay. So, you had a sense, Ernest, of how to attack with the g4, g5. That was good. And beginning around here, you kind of lost the thread. Right? Yeah, the very spicy positions. Elio says this can be demoralizing. I'll tell you what, I played the Sicilian a bunch when I was a kid. And what is terribly demoralizing is getting mated. That's demoralizing, buddy. Let me tell you. Getting mated is very demoralizing. Okay, so well done. We're going to continue here. We got Asari. Asari doesn't tell us anything. Go to grad show, bud. Dojo 1.0. Now, this is interesting. We have several people, Dojo 1.0, that have come back, but then still aren't really doing anything. Now, I just want to say something obvious. He is in the wrong cohort. And once you're over 2,000 dojo, we say you got to be playing OTB. And one of the main reasons is 2330, dude. At the ChessCom, that's just cheaters like 100%. So there's something terribly wrong. There's something terribly wrong here. Sorry. All right. We got clubs. He's got all kinds of clubs going on. Singapore. No games. Okay, Asari, I think I want to really encourage you, if you're this high, to do some annotations and also to play some OTB. Maybe in Singapore there, if that's where you are, you can find some tournaments. All right, playing Czech Open. Nice, tomorrow. I played the Czech Open 2 times, I think. One time in like 1997 and then maybe 2000, 2001. Alvin Cruz says, I always say that I improve on chess from simply playing. And so I try to play 30-30 every day and annotate thereafter, which is ChessDojo's core principle. I am also fond of the Friday night fights as hosted by I Am Proofs. His commentary on my games is improving my chess. The next cohort is already uncharted territory for me, and if I get into the 2021 cohort, then I will consider playing OTB again. For this graduation, I believe my best game is against Echo Board. We had a weird opening. Note to Jesse, I played against your favorite member, Norzius. Fancy meeting him on Lead Chess. Okay, maybe we'll look at Norzius. All right, here we go. So, is this Alvin? And joined this year, but is crushing it. Already graduated a number of times. And really, he's not quite there with the graduation yet. Not quite there. That has a lower FIDE rating. The Philippines. Nice. Okay. See, I asked and people delivered. we was just the Asian dojo before, and now we've got a bunch of people in these different areas. So, now it's killing me here, but let's look at Norzius. This is a draw with Norzius. Let's go look. Is he my favorite? GM Cry is fond of this guy. And it's fancy that I met him on Lead Chess. Okay, so first off, Alvin, we need to work on your time. You're not using your time. This is the most important feedback. Whatever we say about the game, this is the most important thing for you. Right? Okay. Muy importante. So, now we're going to go to review. Fine. Fine. All right, it's a roughly equal position. It's still spicy. F4. Okay, that's an ambitious move. So, A5. I'm not sure I get A5. Not sure I get. I would be interested if I was black and knight D5. I don't know if I like this G5 move. So you're putting. By the way, it's not easy for me to tell you what to do. But G5, you're encouraging the knight to come in anyway. And you're putting the pawns in the color of the bishop. And now you're going to open up your king. Oh my god, he didn't play. He's got to play 93. He's got to take it. Mouse! He's got to take it. So definitely takes. And I don't know exactly what's going on here. But I think black should be... I don't know if they're better, but they shouldn't have any big grief here. And I'm worried, like maybe queen c7, and I'm intending c5 stuff. This doesn't seem right at all. Knight d3, I don't like that. Look, yeah, you got to play a3, but that knight is terrible over there. Look, so it's just about domination at this point. Now, don't play c5 because this knight, how is he going to fix himself? You know, how? I don't know. So a very basic move here would be queen e4. You're doing great. h4 would also come into play at some point. All right, so knight d3. What you're doing here is you're trading your best piece for his tourist on the side of the board there. Okay, now black, I don't know, I guess we gotta like black. b5 looks good for black. Okay, b5 still looks good. I don't know about this. Oh, I didn't like this, Norzius. Your bishop might look cool on b2, but it ain't doing much. And why are you trading queens? Why are you trading queens, bud? You gotta come after him. Open the business up. All right. Okay. All right, interesting. Now we've transitioned. I like white now. We got all that space. Good move. We do need a plan. Do I know what that plan is? No, I don't know. Bishop c1. I don't like it. Look at that bishop. Wait, what is he doing to you? He ain't doing nothing. h5 makes a lot of sense. Good move. Oh, very nice move. Okay. At least it was a nice idea. King b3 has got to be a nice position for you. We'd want a couple more annotations here. We just made a draw. You guys, look, no, there's so much to be said here. Look at this. You say, I think this is Pompush is the losing move. No, you're doing fine here, but look, b5, you have several moves, okay? And why would we be losing this here? We're not losing anything. And you say CB5 is a mistake according to I am Igor. No, I think this is I don't know why this is a mistake. Let's go CB5. CB5. And now King B3. I don't think this is too easy for the... there's a lot going on here, and I believe in white more. Let me just put it that way. Okay, so this guy was not thinking. Can we go back? He wasn't thinking, Alvin. You weren't thinking. You weren't thinking. You spent more time doing the annotations than doing the game. I thought the trades were very instructive. Knight d3, I really didn't like. His knight b4, I really didn't like. His bishop b2 thing, didn't like. So let me just say about that is that as we progress, getting up to this level, it's generally things about piece activity that are harming people's chess at this level. They're not feeling the poor pieces. Okay, we got one more. King Chess says, hi Dojo team, it has been a great experience having a structured training program and tracking my progress. Balancing work and chess has been hard, but I've tried my best and the work I've put in has given results. I would like to thank the senseis and the dojo community for helping me out in this journey. Open Classical, Sunday Rapids, and the sparring have been a great experience. I would love to hear Jesse's thoughts on this game of mine. Played a proper classical after a gap of nearly 5 years, and I really enjoyed the process of annotating. So there's the game there. Lastly, I have a classical tournament with the time control of 30-30 in just a month from now. I would love to get the sensei's advice on what would be the best way to go about preparing for it in the given time. Trust the dojo training program. I know that sounds trite, but that's what it is. Just trust the program, do the work, and you will be doing fine, King Chess. Congratulations, by the way. This is very hard to make it up this far. I'm going to give King Chess a follow. He's doing a bit here, joined in early this year. Doing some tactics, looking great. And let's see if we got some clubs. Coders in India. Nice, dude. Nice. Let me just say, it is an ambition of the dojo for us to get more people in India. King Chess, if you were the one who started, I don't know who started this club, but I'm very thankful for this club. I would love to see this grow, and then eventually, of course, I want to see, clubs from different big cities in India. Okay, so activity looks strong. Doing some tactics. Great. I want to see what the non-dojo tactics they're doing. Yeah, looking great. Looking great. Now, let's go. I think I can just copy and paste this game. So, first, proper classical game after 2019. Beautiful. And now we're going to take a look at the clock. You can see he took the time to do the clock times. And we don't know what happened at move 40. We might check in a little later. But you can see we can start getting up here. Once you start getting up to this 1900, if somebody has a problem with the clock, it's generally that they're moving too slow. Right? Okay, and these people are doing really well. All right, so game review. Frisky. Good. I don't like this move. Okay, interesting. So, White gets rid of their bad bishop and says, if you want an endgame, buddy, that's fine. So here we go. This is a fun position. E6, knight f3. Castles, great. Knight f6. Okay, now the drama with knight f6 is, how do you feel if he plays e5? He doesn't. I think he's probably correct not to do so. At least not right away. Whoa, and you castled long, buddy. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Okay, it's very spicy. White has a variety of plans now to mess with you. I like White's position better. Yeah, he plays knight c3. I think a3 intending b4 would be a nice pawn sacrifice. a6 I don't like. You say, I think this move was unnecessary and it weakened the b6 square. Now, I just want to stress, I think you got to play bishop e7 in castles. Okay, I know it's scary, but it's even more scary here. And here, definitely, I want you to play something like bishop e7 or king b8. All right, he's a little soft. I don't know about h5, but it's kind of curious. He resisted this forever, but now he commits. And he commits at the wrong moment because now your knight is kind of good there on g4. After king h1, now if he plays h3, he can't even take it anymore. Whereas before, if he had played e5, then we would have been forced, I think, to do something like knight g8. All right. In general, he doesn't want to do this because he doesn't want to put the pawns in the dark squares. That's why he gave up his light square bishop, right? Wants to keep the pawns in the light. So I think he just didn't have a plan here anymore. And he should still be looking for something like a3, b4, or a3, knight a4, some kind of opening of the position. All right, we do need a plan. I like bishop b7 is simple. King b8 simple. Weird. I quite like this prophylactic move, guarding the e6 pawn before playing f6, so that it's not on pre when it has to move due to knight a4 ideas. Now think about it, though. Do we want to play f6? Because we're not winning the pawn. Right? We're not winning the pawn when we play f6. And if we take the pawn, then we're going to loose his bad bishop, free his bad bishop. King b8, rook c8 makes sense. Maybe knight d4 after that. I don't understand rook a1. That looks like just a cheap move. Queen c7, fine. That doesn't look right. d4, now the knight's, he horrendified his knight. He horrendified it. Okay, can you take on e5? You say no. Probably it's correct, the Muno, not to take. Now notice what I'm saying. When we take on e5, we're going to fix the bishop. Also note how horrendous it was that he killed his knight. What is he doing? Where's that knight going to go now? Yeah, I don't like b6. You don't have to move that knight. There's no need to move it. Now it's a little scary. Moving into the pin. Now, you don't like it? Tell us what you think you should have done. Finally puts his rook on a good square. I don't understand this move. A panic reaction to missing bishop f4 idea. All right, we just want to say something obvious. The problem with this whole f6 has been, in this particular position, you are freeing his bad piece. Interesting. Okay, good move. Rook e5. You say, I think this Desperado was the only move which still keeps me in the game. Might be true. Okay. I think you're lost here, but good. c5. Yeah, just take on f6, take on f5. Good notes. He's trying to end you. He's trying to end you with incorrect means. Probably okay. Okay, I'm okay with this move. You're allowing queen c8. Let's see here. What is our body count here? This is a very strong move. Yeah, white did not think this through. Knight d3, well done. Good move. Bishop c1. I like your queen e1 variation. Good. B4 does look like a good move. Queen d4 is also a thought. This is full of tricks. That isn't it. King g1, good move, good move. That's too much, isn't it? Womp womp. And the bridge is complete. Whoo! Okay, very nice game and annotations. Really pumped about the Indian dojo. And so I'm assuming this was a dojo game. I think this is a very interesting variation, by the way, for white. I like these kind of endgame ideas. And it's a challenge to know what you're supposed to do here. And I think you needed to castle short, even though that's incredibly terrifying. Okay, you guys, did we finish? Oh, we finished this thing. So I'll be back I'll probably be back before next Wednesday, but I'll definitely be back next Wednesday to do the grad show. Boom. All right, so everybody, we're gonna get out of here. Who are we gonna raid? I don't know. So let's raid friend of the dojo, the Chess Nerd Live. The Chess Nerd settings don't let me raid. Okay, well, I don't know why. I don't know why. Let's raid somebody else. Let's raid Bigfoot. If you don't know what we've been doing, this is the Chess Dojo training program. We do this every Wednesday, the graduate show. We do other things related to the dojo as well. See you soon. Bye.